Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the eISL, powered by Coca-Cola, with Hero as our associate sponsor, Nordwin Gaming as our esports partner, and PlayStation as our platform partner. I'm CA, back with Azim today. And Azim, I have to immediately ask you, well, we missed you yesterday, so how does it feel to be back?
Good to be back. Looking forward to a very interesting clash to see if somebody can dethrone Chennaiyin FC or rather slow their momentum down. But before we get into any of that, let's quickly take all our viewers through the tournament format for the eISL. Of course, we are in the middle of the group stages, 3 games per match, 2 1v1s and 1 co-op game. The finals, 4 teams will make it, will be played across the 19th and 21st of March, and the finals, the two players of the top team will go up against each other in a grudge match almost, you could say, to decide who's going to represent India in the FIFA Global Series 2022. So very exciting times.
Yeah, and a lot of motivation with that as well to make sure it happens. Get those maybe customized controllers along the way, maybe get a nice brand going on for yourself. But what I'm talking about, of course, is the massive prize pool. 78 lakh up for grabs, 15 lakh for that first place. That's obviously the biggest number we notice immediately, but it's really the check we've already sent to Van der Sar. Rather, I guess at this point, the deliberation is whether we're sending it to Van der Sar or a therapist for Van der Sar.
Yes, Bandasar, as we have been calling him, 4 lakh prize for the MVP. Obviously, this is a joke. We are not actually sending a check to Edwin Bandasar because I think he would be very surprised to receive that in the mail. He's like, oh, where does this come from? But no, this is for. Actually, we might be seeing one of our MVP candidates today in Naveen as Chennaiyin FC take on Odisha FC. And it's going to be very, very intense to see whether Odisha can finally claw their way up that table.
Yeah, we've named them Almost FC because they've been so close every single time. But today, as you can see, as you talked about, Azim, Odisha FC at that 10th spot, facing up against a team that has really been the juggernaut for the eISL so far, which is Chennaiyin FC. Still unbeaten, 5 wins, 1 draw in terms of the 6 matches they've played. So Odisha FC, well, I mean, this is the prime opportunity to turn from almost into the reward, right? You take down an unbeaten team, there's no better way to kick off yourself for the rest of the eISL.
Yeah, well, easier said than done when you're going up against Saranch and Naveen, particularly Naveen, the form that he's been in. Although we did see just a slight drop-off in that form for him in the last game. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether... I mean, we know that Shubham, of course, has been in pretty good form for Odisha FC. Dugal has been a little up and down. They've only managed to really get that 1 point on the board. But, 3 today can see them rocketing up that table. And that's our fixture list for today. It's going to be Dugal TV versus Naveen. And, of course, Shubham Tum 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 versus Saranch Jen. In game 2, and of course game 3 is our co-op. So obviously first thoughts on that. I think Shubham taking it upon himself to be the guy who's going to take on Saranch, well, I mean, there's no easy game in this one, or like potentially easier game even, because both of these guys are absolutely on top of the game for Chennaiyin FC.
Exactly right. Saranch also has really peaked into his form quite recently, and there is no easier game, but it is quite interesting that Shubham, being the informed player for Odisha FC, has taken upon the responsibility to play that second game, because previous times we've seen them switch around that first and second game between themselves. But today what I find really curious is we know Shubham and V Sharma are friends, outside of the eISL. FC Goa is most certainly going to be rooting on Odisha FC today because they want to maintain that number 1 spot. So an extra bit of flavor coming in terms of that top of the table rivalry.
Yeah, I think V Sharma maybe is telling Shubham on the side कि यार ये जो MVP का check है, अगर मुझे मिल जाएगा 50-50 कर देंगे, बस जीत जाए यार, just win this game. That's all we want.
Absolutely right. The top of the table very much very close here. 2 points. Of course, FC Goa is clear, but we'll have to see Chennaiyin FC. As you said, they have been in blistering form. Naveen especially, and I have to say, I'm a little terrified for Dugal because it's been the exact opposite for him. It feels like a sap of confidence going continuously, and I'm hoping this break has given him some time, to really find that mojo for himself, because we do see those moments of skill. We know that he has it.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen some of the players, I mean, the out of form players, you could say, for FC Goa and also for Kerala Blasters in Afnan and Akshat stepping up this week. But head to head, if you take a look at that, I mean, just look at that contrast, right? 18 goals to 48 across 5 and 6 matches. 0 matches won, 5 matches won for Chennaiyin FC, and 16 points to 1. So, on paper, you would say that there's only really one outcome, but FIFA 22 is not played on paper, is it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is not. There is a completely separate game for that, actually, but I will not get into that. Uh, but yeah, as you were saying, right, it really does come down to how they find an answer to Naveen, because honestly, I feel like Naveen has been the epitome of what we have seen from every single player. He's reached that peak of form where people are almost envious with the decisiveness with which he plays the game, and I'm excited to see. I think this is a true test for Dugal. Even in terms of skill level, you can see the elite versus the 1963. It is going to be a test for Dugal.
And also interesting to note the beard coming along very nicely for Saransh on the side. I think a lot of the players in the tournament taking advantage of this 4 months away from their family and friends to get some new facial hair growing. But look at the comparison over there. I mean, Naveen averaging 3 goals per game, and Dukkal pretty much averaging just above 1 a game. So, I mean, again, statistically, you would expect the scoreline for this match to be 3-1. Let's see if I am correct with my amazing mathematical deductions.
We'll definitely have to see. I think 3 goals in general, from what we've seen from Dugal itself, it has certainly been like it starts off well usually, but then it's been the fact that we've seen from multiple teams towards that lower half, like teams like ATK Mohan Bagan, for example, where the start is always there, but when it comes to the second half, when it comes to keeping your calm and composure, that's where the teams really do struggle. And yeah, that is directly tied to confidence. But given the fact that we're now more than a month into the eISL, teams are really looking towards this next month to try and find that right form, because going into that final phase, the final third, you're going to need every single ace you've got in your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Odisha, I mean, there would be nothing quite like 3 points today as we have kicked off. Let's quickly look about and scour the field to see if there's any new surprise inclusions. No major surprises from Chennaiyin FC at the back or indeed in midfield. It's a pretty standard, the standard team that we've been seeing from them for most of this tournament, as we have Mbappe on the ball, passing the ball around, giving everybody a touch, and we should see Naveen slowly starting to penetrate very soon.
Absolutely. He's got that standard setup ready where he's got much more of a backline. In Shubham, he's willing to drop back, soak up the pressure, and then hit back, of course, with his own possession control. So it is, Dugal, it is going to be a match of very similar play styles, but when it comes to that final third is where we see the distinction between Naveen and most other players, where he's able to find that little flick, little turn, and just get in. But hold on, maybe a bit of a cast of curse, a nice interception for Gullit in the counter for Dugal.
Yeah, well, almost a counter for Dugal, but Naveen very sorted on his defense. Gets Pele in behind now from the right flank. Is he going to go for a cross? Not usually his style. And we have noticed that with a lot of players not really wanting to cross the ball. We have seen players, for instance, like Shubham, who love that cross into the box. But for Naveen, it's always pass into the box. But it seems to be working for him. He's got Ronaldo in there, twisting, turning.
Oh.
Will he cross here? No, wins the corner.
Just on the line there. I thought it went out for a second, but able to get the corner still. Kafu on the first touch. Very unexpected, but oh my god, we were talking about how he doesn't go for the crosses. That's a promising sign. Almost able to get that goal with Marquinhos.
Yeah, and I think the one exception that a lot of players have found, although we've seen players like Ashwin from Mumbai City FC, who even from corners steadfastly refuses to pass the ball, but can be counterproductive at times, because that is a very effective way to score goals. As Dugal finally gets his first attack going, gets into the box, rubs the green, goes his way. He's got Ronaldo, beautiful turn. Unfortunately, couldn't find Cruyff in the box on the turnover, and Naveen and Chennaiyin will come forward again.
Yeah, Naveen quick on the tempo on this attack, though, not really looking to control the possession or slow it down, trying to exploit the gaps that are present in the Dugal's defense right now, and he has that pass to Pele, not taking it though, and that might just work out. 1v1 for Naveen is his best ability, and he does it perfectly. Eusebio with that goal.
Yeah, you thought like 3 times in the build-up that move. Has he
Yeah.
overplayed it? Has he overplayed it? Has he overplayed? But somehow, I think he got a little fortunate that the ball fell to Eusebio over there. But I don't think we'll grudge him that because the overall play, I think, warranted a goal. He was just waiting for that perfect opportunity to pull the trigger, just there, and then finally getting the shot away into the top corner and Van der Sar. Unfortunately for Tuchel, not able to do anything this time.
Yeah, and as you said, right, he continuously able to create that, just create that panic in Tuchel's mind. He's like, oh my god, this guy's gonna get away with the 1v1. And the moment he got, almost a check, like, hey, the ball can be tackled, able to find the shot. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I think this is now what we were worried about for Tuchel. Once that goal goes in, how does he bounce back? How does he maintain his calm under that pressure? And I'm excited to see that because, as you said, especially this week, we've seen several of the players out of form bounce back from situations like this. So I do think there is potential in Tuchel to be able to do that. It's just a matter of executing.
Yeah, we have seen Tuchel in the past go a goal down and come back, but again, like even holding on to that equalizer almost has proven a bit of a challenge for him. As again, he was in a good position, gave the ball away, and Naveen again, he's just playing his own game. Well, that's not his game, giving the ball straight to Cruyff. And I mean, as a neutral, you want to see something happening. You want to see him burst into the box just like that, but unfortunately cannot, and it's another turnover for Naveen. But yeah, Tuchel is he's going to want to get the ball as soon as possible, although not pressing particularly high. You think that's a mistake here?
I think it's potentially like almost a trademark for Odisha FC because exactly how Shubham also plays, they're willing to just drop back. They don't want to exactly take the risks on the defense. But yeah, I think against a player like Naveen, giving him the opportunity to find those 1v1s, it can be quite terrifying, at least to me. But we'll see how Tuchel fares because right now, Naveen's got a ton of space and he's just toying with him. But oh, the shot.
The time finish just didn't work out for him there. Got the timing slightly wrong. You would have expected Naveen in that position to just smash that into the bottom left corner. Not quite happening for him there. But of course, I don't think that'll bother him or perturb him too much. He would have loved to have a 2-goal lead, but plenty of time for him. And of course, plenty of time for Tuchel as well. I think for him, it's important for Tuchel to now just keep that ball, don't have any cheap giveaways, try to get a couple of shots on goal, just work the keeper, get Naveen thinking just a little bit, just like that, and gets the shot away. Not bad. I think that's what we want to see from him. Just challenge the keeper and get a few shots on target.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about getting into like almost flow and a rhythm to try and find the place. And Naveen going for a punt right there, not working out at all. But you know what? Bullet does save his day, and he's now has the potential to go for the counter. But maybe we'll just look to control the ball, especially seeing that Tuchel is starting to get a little more threatening play-by-play.
Yeah, and had the opportunity to play in Pele over there, decided not to take it. Probably regrets it just a bit right now as the ball is turned over back to Odisha FC. He does have Cruyff on that right flank. Going to be interesting to see if he's gonna. I mean, Cruyff I've realized is the most subbed on and off player. But hang on, Pele is in over here, and it's saved by Van der Sar. I think he really will be kicking himself for not getting that shot away. Didn't look like he got a timed finish away at all, and Naveen has got out of jail there.
Absolutely, but I think it will give at least a sliver of confidence to Tuchel for even being able to find that weighted through ball to set up that play. But right now, Naveen is on the attack. Able to toy around with Ronaldo. The defense, the pushback, just Gullit pushing him a step too far, helping out Van der Sar.
Yeah, and Van der Sar actually hasn't had too much to do in this game apart from the goal that was honestly conceded by Odisha FC. So not plain sailing, you would have to say, for Chennaiyin FC. Tuchel has made it difficult. He has had his moment. I think it was a glaring opportunity for Tuchel to get that equalizer just before halftime. But as you said, encouraging signs for him. The fact that he is able to get in behind. You see the goal over there, which slightly fortunate to win that, getting a very inadvertent nutmeg. But it's 1-0 to Chennaiyin FC.
As you said, though, right, it's been very close so far. I think You can see just that tackle, the reaction from Odisha FC is as well. They're realizing how unlucky they were, but I think overall, given the number of chances Naveen had, that one goal at least is deserved in this first half. But the same could be said for Dugal, especially towards the second part of that first half. He is starting to look a lot more threatening, a lot more instinctive, really, in the way he's setting up the plays. A lot more of the 1-2s, like you said, right? Looking to control the ball, work around the defenders, and really challenge the keeper. And we'll see if he's able to keep that momentum going now that the second half has started. He gets the ball on the start. That's always a nice factor.
Yeah, always good to get that first move, get that first bit of momentum, and let's see if he can do something with it though, because yeah, there you go, giving the ball away in midfield, you can't really afford that. You'd rather just pass the ball around, go back and forth, side to side, work that opportunity, but I think it is a game of confidence at the moment. Dugal hasn't managed to get a win so far in this tournament, and you can see it's really costing them.
Yeah, definitely, right? I think every single time they come almost to the finish line hurts them, but right now it looks like Naveen might just add salt to those wounds running around. Eusebio is definitely his favored agent here in that final third, but this time the tackle lands soundly for Dugal and he has a counter on.
Yeah, and the counter-attack might well be his best route back into this game, because when Naveen has been set in defense in positions exactly like this, he's found it a bit hard to break through, although he does have Pele in the box, but well marshaled over there. I think it might just be offside over there. No, he has kept himself onside, wins the corner. Opportunity for Odisha FC.
Yeah, and he's going for that standard corner routine, has the far post lined up, but a little too far. The pass lands, no, but Van der Sar, no.
I think it just fell to the wrong person over there. Was Patrick Vieira. He would have loved it to fall to Ronaldo or Pele into the box. I was quite surprised Pele managed to win that header, but hang on, he still has the opportunity. Doesn't quite work, and unfortunately for Odisha, it's a Chennai back to the
It's starting to get real tense here at the start of the second half, and right now you can see that tense nature in Naveen as well. He knows how important it is for him to find that killing blow, but so far Dugal is able to keep the pressure on with Mbappe, has the cutback, and that's the
Oh, that's very, very well worked, and a huge confidence boost over there for Dugal. Getting that goal back early in the second half, very, very important for his confidence. You see Shubham leaning in with words of encouragement, and as a spectacle as well, this is exactly what we want to see. We don't want to see Naveen just having it all his own way and just bossing it, and Van der Sar finally beaten for Chennaiyin FC.
And that too with the cutback. So I think Dugal will just be happy he's able to, in that moment, find the ball roll and the right pass in. Second time's around the chance for him, and 1-1 for Odisha. But you mentioned earlier, right? We've seen in the past Dugal able to get the equalizer and not able to hold on. So now that's one more test for him. Just 28 game minutes left. Even if he's able to hold on to his draw here, I think for Shubham that will be a motivating factor.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, if he gets the draw, there is still the opportunity, even if Shubham loses his individual match, that they can get at least that 1 point, which is of course against Chennaiyin FC, a fairly decent result to take points off them. So for them, obviously they would want the 3 points, but this is a good step in the right direction if Dugal can hold on. And that was a very risky pass across the back, just got away with it, Naveen.
Just about there, but now Naveen, he is looking quite threatening here with Ronaldo trying to run in. Has runners on both sides, but again, does not want to take the risky route. But that was quite a risky pass through 3 defenders. The third one is able to get it through. And now Naveen has the long ball on the right wing. Not going to, Dugal had the right ball on the right wing, but just keeping it slow. And I think especially with the way Dugal has set up his previous goal, it really has to be all about maybe these substitutions, bringing on some fresh attackers, getting him that extra teensy bit of pace with the fresh leg.
Yeah, and as we have a look at the goal again, fairly standard eISL goal, you could say, in many ways. Just getting down the byline, finding that touchback, cutback, and smashing it in. And nothing really that Naveen could have done better over there, honestly. I think it was just getting in at the right position, the right time, the right place. And for Naveen now, something to think about. He's had it all his own way so far in the tournament, and let's see how he adapts to this latest setback.
Oh, we've got Ronaldo on for Cruyff, and Cruyff is playing on the right, and Ginola on for Mbappe for Chennaiyin FC. So inverted tactics maybe for Odisha, and just strong foot, strong side for Chennaiyin FC. I'm curious to see how especially that Ginola works out maybe in crosses.
Yeah, and I was going to say just before that Cruyff has proven to be, I think, the most expendable player for most of our eISL players because he's usually the most commonly subbed on or off player. He very rarely gets 90 minutes in this game. So will be interesting to see how that works out. He does have Ronaldo on as well, so could expect a few crosses into the box. But for now, very important for Dougal to remain completely focused. And well, he doesn't need to focus. He's giving the ball away just like that. And he has the ball in behind. That's actually a smashing ball. He might be able to steal this here. And
yes!
He has. He's put it into the corner. Brilliant counter attack from Dougal. And against all odds, he has taken the lead.
What a ball! The chip through ball just perfectly landing, and you have to nail that because it's not like you have a really physical player in the striker role there. You have Pele with a lot of pace and of course a lot of agility, and he's able to use that to perfection, literally just landing in front of his feet, prime for the picking, and he takes the opportunity perfectly, lands the finish, and now you can see tense faces in the Chennaiyin FC side of this place here. And really, this is not a position Naveen or Chennaiyin FC have been in, and I think a really good sign for Odisha FC. Dougal finding that goal, he just needs to hold on. I would park the bus.
Oh yeah, complete smashing grab, and his heart must have been racing the moment that ball landed at Pele's feet, because he'd been in that position before and smashed it straight at the keeper. This time, of course, making no mistake, putting it into the corner, and now, well, interesting tactics. It does look like it might be a 3 at the back for Chennaiyin FC. We've seen Zidane brought on for Theo Hernandez, who's a fullback, so obviously sacrificing some defensive bodies to take control of midfield, and another ball in behind. That's actually pretty smart when you have only 3 centre backs who just play down the flank. But Lionel Messi, that defensive work rate, not seen that in a while, and switches the ball to the other side with Maldini. So yeah, 3 at the back, and looking for his own smashing through ball, and he's got it through now to Ginola on that left flank. Can he do something about this? It's getting very tense, very cagey, and given away, and now maybe Odisha can scamper up the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, for him it's all about keeping it as close to his byline as he can. Throws and of course passes like this completely fine with Dougal, but that one maybe a little bit cheap. Of course, that byline pass we've seen several players try it unsuccessfully, but it does give an opportunity here to Messi. The ball into Pele and a lot of space for Eusebio. That's the equalizer. That's why you can't give him lead space.
Yeah, and it almost stopped over there, like the world seemed to stop as that ball reached Eusebio. It just calmly went into the top corner. It didn't really even look like he had to smash it, almost placed it into that top corner. And well, unfortunate for Dougal that he hasn't been able to hang on, but it is his possession, so he could maybe manage to just go up the other end and steal a late winner. But we have seen that most of his goals have come, well, both of his goals have come on the counter attack, and from the start, maybe not the ideal position that he would like. But don't forget that there's only 3 defenders, and he's got Pele in here. Surely has to take it, and he gets it. Is that the winner? You can see the celebrations from Dougal, and it is a crazy game. 3-2 in the 90th minute.
God, yeah, as I said, it's been an absolutely crazy roller coaster of a game, going back and forth between these players. But Dougal again finding a beautiful through pass onto Pele, just feeding that best striker card in the game as much as he can. And well, when you feed the legend delivers. Pele able to get off him. Of course, that was Dougal. I'm just giving credit to the card. But yeah, as you were talking about, right, this is huge. You can see the jubilance in his celebration, the joy that this simple victory is going to bring him, because especially going into this match, 10th place versus 2nd place, potentially 1st place on the table for these teams. A huge momentum swing for Dougal. The match is still not over just yet. Just a couple more game minutes left. He needs to hold on.
Yeah, he's going to be defending with all his life. I think he's going through all the formations. Where is the 9-10-0 formation? The 10-0-0. Just get all the defensive bodies back. The striker drop back immediately queued over there. And you can see it's a very, very narrow, flat back 4 over there. definitely has a drop back instruction as well. And now Naveen has, well, pretty much, well, 5 or 6 seconds to try and get an attack going. And oh, foul given away. Could that be costly? I think a little too far out to take a shot.
Yeah, I shouldn't hurt, but if Naveen scores a goal from here, well then that would just be the perfect end to this match. Instead, going to set up for a shot directly. The slide tackle is there from Dougal. The desperation comes through. So does the win, and a huge win. You can see the literal sigh of relief coming out from him.
Yeah, and well, a slightly unexpected result for us. As I said, the eISL and FIFA22 is not played on paper. Form going completely out of the window in this one. Dougal stealing that win at the end, of course, taking advantage of the fact that Naveen had subbed off a defender to try and score that equalizer, which he did. But getting that win right at the end, 3-2 it ends for Dougal, and pressure is definitely on Saranch now. Not a position he's been in so far in this eISL, because Naveen has been getting the job done usually in game one, but Saranch this time, a little bit of pressure on him, and Shubham, of course, we know what he's about. He's not going to make it easy in game two.
Exactly, right? Because as you said, pressure on Saranch, but more so with a simple stat. Shubham is undefeated in individual games. He hasn't lost a single individual game yet. Yes, there's been a lot of draws in there, but right now, even a draw against Saranch would be extremely good for the side of Odisha FC, especially with Dougal finding a lot of confidence from this game. So we'll have to see, can Saranch really unleash the beast that we know he has in him. But back to this game, of course, this initial goal, the rub of the green, as you say, going towards the side of Naveen. But I have to applaud from the side of Dougal. Even after this goal, he was disappointed, but did not seem broken down. This really does feel the week of everybody who has been out of form, finding that 1 month milestone and coming back into form.
Yeah, it does look like that. And again, we saw Naveen did have a chance over there. I think that was actually a very crucial miss when you think about it, because 2-0 over there, I think, would have really broken Dougal's confidence. But managed to keep coming back. Almost got the goal over here with Vieira as well, blocked by Van der Sar. Could have started thinking again that it wasn't his day with those big saves being made. But eventually managed to get that equalizer and took the lead as well.
Yeah, you can see Shubham too, literally feeling what you mentioned. He's like, oh my god, Van der Sar, stop it. But finally, that goal coming through. And you can see, still, Dougal not satisfied. The killer spirit very much there, taking down especially Naveen. This is going to be a big blow, and we've talked a lot about Dougal. I have to say, from the side of Naveen, this is also going to be a test for him in the sense that he's been on a blistering run of form ever since the start of the eISL, but getting tested towards this middle phase, really getting beaten by a team that is very much lower in the standings is going to test his mental, and I want to see how he bounces back in the co-op especially.
Oh yeah, definitely. But before the co-op, I think a huge game coming up.
Yeah.
I thought at this moment when the 2-2, the equalizer came, that maybe Dougal's spirit might be broken, maybe he might feel a little down about it, but he just walked up the other end of the pitch, making use of the fact that, and you can see like he's just walking through, he's like, please go in, please go in, please go in. And thankfully for him, it did, and you can see the celebrations immediately. A huge result, and hopefully now, for Odisha's sake, they can start to double down on it.
The smile from Saranj though, almost like, hey, it's okay, man. It happens, you know. I really like that, the motivation. But the stats also clearly showing Dougal, the deserved winner, 3.9 on that EXG, leading, and in every single way finding that momentum without the possession too, just utilizing that counter perfectly with 100% shot attempts.
Oh, absolutely. And we do have the man himself. Dougal is ready to have a chat with us. We will head straight over. Dougal, congratulations. Big win for you. First, a big result of the season. कैसा लग रहा है? How are you feeling?
या बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, फर्स्ट विन है एंड दैट टू अगेंस्ट चेन्नई, तो कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत अच्छा लगा, अभी अच्छा लग रहा है या
एंड वही बात रहती है, आई थिंक आपके लिए कॉन्फिडेंस का फैक्टर काफी लो रहा है, बट कमिंग इनटू दिस हम वो 1 महीने का माइलस्टोन पहुंच गए हैं. सो आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू, लाइक गिवन द स्लो स्टार्ट, अब आप थोड़े शायद सेटल इन फील कर रहे हो. हाउ आर यू फीलिंग थ्रू द जर्नी एंड हाउ यू आर?
या अभी सब सेटल हो रहा है. अभी पहला लैन इवेंट है, थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस आ रहा है, थोड़े नर्व्स थे स्टार्टिंग में, तो अभी वही थोड़ा अभी अच्छा लग रहा है. अभी आज फर्स्ट विन निकली है.
नहीं, फर्स्ट विन के बाद और भी आएंगे। एक और सवाल था आपके लिए। सो वी
या
सॉ कि आप काउंटर अटैक पे बहुत ज्यादा खेल रहे थे। वाज दैट अ स्ट्रेटजी दैट यू हैड इन माइंड कि विल सिट बैक एंड डिफेंड एंड देन हिट ऑन द काउंटर?
नो नो नॉट लाइक दैट, बट हाँ वो डिपेंड होता है गेम पे। जैसे नवीन बहुत बॉल रखता है, उनको बहुत अच्छा खेलना मतलब वो आता है वैसे, तो उसके थ्रू ही मतलब वही डिपेंड गेम पे वैसी था।
ठीक है, बट नहीं, आई कैन सी यू आर
और
वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट इट। एंजॉय योर विन एंड होप गुड लक फॉर द co-op and good luck to Shubham as well.
या थैंक यू सो मच।
There you can see almost in disbelievement
या
that he's managed to finally get the monkey off his back. But a huge, huge win over there for Odisha. Of course, the job is nowhere close to done. It's just a small matter for Shubham of now taking on one of the best FIFA players in India, in Saranch, with whose abilities seem to keep growing along with his beard. In this in this tournament, he's been growing into the tournament just like his beard has, and a bit of pressure on him for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And somehow I have this weird gut feeling that he's the kind of player that thrives under pressure. So I'm excited to see, because it's never happened in the eISL so far where he's been under the pressure where if he loses, it's over for Chennai instantly. If he draws, then the first place hope is over, in the sense that they can only get 1 point. And I think we have to again remember that factor where FC Goa probably keenly looking onto this game, being like, please, please, Shubham, just hold on for dear life. Even if you don't win, a draw is more than enough for us at least.
Yeah, and you can see Shivam just getting into the zone, just sitting very silently, gathering his thoughts, little bit of deep breathing. Of course, a lot of people will say, hey man, it's just a video game, you just got to pick up a controller and play. But I mean, the mental aspect is the same as any other sport in the world. You have to keep that focus. Focus on your breathing, make sure your heartbeat isn't too fast, because his heart will be pumping now. He's like, this is our moment, we could be beating at this moment the best team in the eISL, and maybe sort of kick-starting our campaign from here. So this result absolutely crucial. At least a draw, I think, is the minimum that he would be looking for, so that they can almost guarantee themselves at 1 point before the third game is even kicked off. But Saranch definitely is he's an absolute beast when it comes to the world of FIFA, and he's not going to give anything up for free to Shubham.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, right, Shubham really needs to get those emotions almost in check, because we've seen that though from him in the past. Because as you said, this game is going to be crucial, I think, even for their co-op, because Dugal is going to be on a high, but his teammates' performance will affect how that mood translates into that co-op. So for them, it's all about getting their campaign started in this prolific manner, taking down a team of the caliber of Chennaiyin FC. Well, we pondered over that possibility before this match started, like, hey, that would be pretty cool. But now we're actually in the moment witnessing a real chance of it happening, and I have to say it's quite enthralling and quite thrilling.
Oh yeah, and Shubham, of course, as he gets the headphones on, a slightly different player from what we're used to seeing in FIFA. He does enjoy. He has a couple of very good set piece routines. We look at the skill levels: 1900 against 2110 for Saranch. Similar ages for both of them, and these guys are both, you could say, sort of veterans of the FIFA scene in India. They've been around for a fairly long time. But in this tournament, as you said, Shivam undefeated. He does not give you anything up for free. Of course, defensively very solid. Saranch off to a bit of a slow start, you could say, by his standards. With 6 games played, he has got 15 goals. You can't really say it's slow in that, but I think stats slightly skewed by the last couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the key word, right, by his standards, because what we know about Saranch, he's one of the most experienced players in the eISL. He brings in a plethora of experience playing. Like, as we talked with Dugal too, you could see he mentioned the nerves factor, playing in this LAN format, playing in this newer eISL style format where you have a teammate and you have to maybe fight your teammate towards the end, and all of these things, they factor into your mind, and also the fact that you're away from home. So for Saranch, all of these things maybe not as prevalent as it was for these other players, and that's why we expect more boisterous start. But so far, We'll see. It hasn't happened though. Last two games have been pretty killer. We've seen that decisive Saransh play that we wanted to. Maybe he can build on that form coming into here and make it clear that, hey, even if Naveen goes down on a day, we have two very, very strong players.
Oh, absolutely. And we do see just a quick note as Saranch immediately gets in behind with Mbappe. We know his close control in those situations is excellent, decides to go back. But a quick observation that Saranch has actually abandoned his Laurent Blanc tactics as Shubham wins that ball back. But he is playing with Vieira in midfield and not in defense. And he's gone back to the standard meta that Naveen has been using as well.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a permanent adaptation or just a Shubham-based adaptation, because that's what we see usually from Shubham. Very standard game style, understands the game very well, of course, as a football fan himself watching the game in action in life, but it translates that knowledge into the game here and it adds a touch to the macro layer. But right now, finding those nifty passes, creating just that teensy bit of space to find the shot with Van der Sar picking it out of the top.
Yeah, that was. I didn't expect him to even take that shot over there, but decided to go for it. And he's very good with these corners. He's got Mbappe. He has someone at the back post, but a very crucial block over there. Will he get a corner out of this? Well, so not bad. He'll make that.
As you said, though, he's so good with those set pieces. Knows exactly the timing. It's almost like rehearsed to a T, and has the cut back through. But Saransh composed, and I have to note, Saransh's proximity to the camera right now is slowly increasing game minute by game minute.
Yeah, I think if Shubham manages to score a goal, like it's just going to be Shubham inside. I mean, Saransh inside the camera by the end of it. But hang on, he's got Pele in over here. Both teams looking pretty threatening when they reach the edge of the area, particularly Shubham. And Saranch is just so good in these short areas, going to use those manual switches, manual runs. But well, won by Shubham, another player along with V Sharma who likes to use Lothar Matthäus in midfield. But that's another smashing ball. If he's managed to keep him on side, but Cafu just about getting back. I have to say, Shubham looking very, very potent in attack and also winning that ball back high up the pitch. So ominous signs here for Saranch early on.
Yeah, it's almost like that momentum that Dougal created carried on into the individual games, but unfortunately, turned off for a moment.
Yeah, it was just one of those moments that all of us have had while playing the game. You're looking all around you for passes and you forget to keep the ball within the white lines. As Shubham trying to move up the pitch very quickly, sometimes you just need to slow it down just a little bit so that you don't turn over possession. And here, this is where Saranch so dangerous. And well, just about getting away with that over there, Shubham, and he can start building again.
That was a little scary there from Vieira, especially on the clearance part. Able to maintain his goal, get it through. Now he's on the offense and has quite a few opportunities. Saranch with a relatively higher line than what we've seen, at least from the Odisha FC boys. They like the lower line, they like to drop back, absorb the pressure. But Saranch, he wants to make sure that Shubham doesn't get any free opportunities, and that's what Maldini able to ensure. But a pause we see, I believe, from Saranch.
Yeah, it does look like that. Saranch not happy about something. And quite interesting we just got quite a small glimpse of the fact that Dougal is playing a 4-4-2 diamond. I think the only other player who plays this formation in the eISL is V Sharma. Yeah. And you can see it's a very clear plan for him to have to build completely from the middle, and potentially that could be a reason why Saranch has gone with a high line, because he's not expecting too many balls in behind in the wide areas. And maybe that's why he's like, you know what, I'm just going to squeeze him for space vertically almost and just force him to try to bring his fullbacks forward and then exploit that on the counter attack.
And I wonder if Shubham himself has noticed this, because, I mean, while he is playing that diamond, he still has Mbappe in that diamond. So it's a simple matter of giving him an instruction to drift wide and just sending it through to that fast player to get the balls in. Might be still able to do that, especially since Shubham is one of those players who's not really scared of going for those crosses or maybe even chip through balls. But right now, Naveen with a ton of space, trying to get it through to Pele, but just blocked through by Vieira. He's just going to be able to hold on.
Yeah, just about managing over there. He's just, that's a bad giveaway, and will he be made to pay for this by Saranch? He's got players in the box. He's got two cutbacks possible. What a save! But it's followed in by Mbappe, and well, almost the save of the season from Van der Sar there, but Mbappe right where he needed to be, and it's 1-0 to Chennai FC.
Yeah, brilliant goal here from Saranj. Also early missed. Saranj, but hey, I was talking about the Mbappe from Shubham really stepping up, maybe finding those space in the wings. Saranj was like, "Hey, I heard you. Let me show you what my Mbappe can do." A very easy tap in there, but as you said, almost the save of the season from Edwin van der Sar. And I hate saying that word when it's Odisha FC. Almost strikes again.
Yeah, and but I think Shubham, for him, the main thing right now is to just remain calm, remain composed, because there's plenty of time for him to get back in. We saw Dougal in this position as well, going a goal down relatively early in the game, but plenty of time for him to recover. We've seen that he's looked pretty menacing on attack. Just needs to keep it together. Just keep moving that ball around, keep shifting it around, and avoid giving it away in midfield just like that. Will he get a shot away here? It's just so cagey in the middle of that area, and you can see passing lane cut out, and Saranch has the ball again.
Saranj does look very, very focused, and you can see again looking to exploit the space that Shubham leaves. Given the fact that he's playing a lower line, he's not really has that constant pressure that most players like to play with, especially on that final third area. But right now, he has got the ball back with a crucial interception. Is on the counter for himself, but Mateu's just blasting it out of the pitch.
Yeah, I think he was going for a driven pass. Pass looked for a moment that it was on target to reach the player he intended it to, but eventually went out for a throw. And Saranj, I wonder if we're going to start seeing, well, obviously it's too early right now, but if it's still 1-0 around the 60-65 minute mark, I wonder if we'll start seeing that game management from him. But hang on, Shubham over there, you can see desperately just mashing that R3 button to select a player and just be like, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? Takes very quick reflexes to use that manner of switching. But for now, Van der Sar crawling on the ground unnecessarily over there to pick that one up. And Chennaiyin will come again, but it is half time, 1-0 to Chennaiyin FC.
Yeah, Chennaiyin FC, especially Saranch, getting that crucial goal to make sure that they have that almost safety net going into the second half. But I have to know, like even that first half, quite similar in the game one where Dougal was put on the back foot by Naveen himself, but he was able to bounce back. So I think it's not the usual thing, but it will be Dougal giving those words of advice. But that save, Van der Sar is going to be mad about that. He's like, how dare that not go out?
Yeah, I mean he would be looking across the linesman and saying, "Come on, bro, just put your flag up, just for the save, come on." And you can see Dougal's reaction to that save as well, saying, "Bhai, what? How is that even possible? That usually happens when I'm playing." But Saranch, bit of a smile after that goal as well. I think he knows that the save should. I mean, he should have managed to get the goal in at the first go, but got a second bite of the cherry. And no substitutions made yet for either team. I think at 1-0 they would largely be satisfied with how their players are performing. Nothing major to change. Did notice that Dougal had a couple of ideas to give to Shubham at halftime. Maybe he's gonna try to implement some of those.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's about those, the fact that, as you can see even on the defense, right, very narrow Saranch's defensive line, as you said, looking to squeeze Dougal, and it is quite apparent that maybe if Dougal able to even bring his fullbacks forward, maybe he could create some space, but it will create problems on the defense, as Saranch seems to be doing now. A lot of space, so Pele could have just gone for the cross, but will find the pass and likely the oh no!
He's put it wide.
I thought that was going in.
Yeah, I mean, I was just updating my scoreline on my notepad already. That come on, it's 2-0, it's over. But suddenly, I think Naveen had one of those as well in the first game, and now a sudden giveaway by Saranch. He's found Ronaldo over there and Eusebio. He has the ball through to Eusebio, couldn't quite spot it at the edge of the area. This is a huge moment potentially, but unfortunately for Odisha FC, it doesn't work out, and Saranch gets a bit out of jail over there, having missed, you could say, a bit of a sitter at the other end, almost conceding, but no harm done for now.
Moment here for Saranch to try and just settle the tempo down, like really deny that momentum swing as much as possible. Because after a miss like that, there are certain things that go on in your, especially with respect to your morale and mind. But it doesn't seem like it's going to affect Saransh. The ball roll maybe not necessary. We've seen this so many times. It seems like players hesitant to go for the weak foot shot.
Yeah, and well, you have to say in fairness that it was a really good tackle, but still, is that going to be a penalty though? No, it's a corner, because I saw the referee pointing towards the spot and suddenly my heart was in my mouth. But Saransh from the corner worked that brilliantly, almost brilliantly. And now on the counter attack, it could be a 2v2 if he finds that long ball, deciding to slow it down a little bit, probably the smartest thing to do once the opportunity was gone. And Saranch is going to be. I mean, he's been in all these positions before. He knows how to deal with the stress. But of course, his heart's going to be pumping. It is the first big pressure game that he's been put into for this tournament so far, and until now, managing to cope well with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, so good. You can see 0 shots from the side of Shubham. Unfortunately, really hasn't been able to create as much of a threatening chance as Saransh has, and hasn't really been getting the ball to do that. So maybe that's what the advice we got from Dougal was like, hey, I got mine on the counter, maybe you can too. But right now it is Saransh finding the cutback. Ronaldo getting caught with the ball, though. That's not what we see from Ronaldo Nazario, the touch making him off guard.
Yeah, and for a moment there, I think it was just one of the in-game graphics. For a moment there, it looked like Theo Hernandez was about to scoop down and try to pick the ball up himself. And my heart skipped a bit of a beat. But hang on, he does have the opportunity here. Look for that cutback. Finds the cutback. Blocked on the line by Marquinhos. And Pele will recycle position. No, he's going to try to wait for the throw. And you can see over there, oh my God, there's massaging and everything happening. Every tool available is being used by Odisha FC.
I love the motivation. I love the fact that Dougal is really pushing the confidence he's feeling right now, trying to share it with Shubham almost. And I think for Shubham, that will be, I mean, maybe he not sure about the whole massage, but with just the motivation part, that will be huge because he's not been able to get that before. Usually, Dougal has been on a low. So we'll see if it's actually able to translate into a goal, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, from the neutral perspective, you would love to see a goal over here just so that Odisha FC can go into that co-op game with a little bit more confidence, knowing that they have a point almost running that ball out the byline again. But this seems to be a fairly decent position for Shubham. Moving that ball around, you can see so narrow, both attack and defense. It's all happening just within half the width of that penalty box. But it's worked brilliantly. Takes a shot, blocked again by Marquinhos, and another corner for Shubham.
Shubham really starting to increase the pressure on Saransh, increase the blood pressure of Saransh almost right now because it's very close. Saransh has a thin lead, but can he hold on? Shubham going for almost new corner routine. I thought he was going to go for the cross. No, instead just trying to find an opportunity and has Ginola in the box. The manual run is there for Ginola, but again covered by Saransh, so he has to pull back and look for another.
Yeah, very well defended over there by Saransh. You could see that he saw something amiss, but hang on, this surely has to be it, and it is the goal. That's beautifully worked there by Shubham. Despite having almost no room to work with, he's made that happen. Brilliant runs off the ball and just quick passing to create the opening for Pele, and has the equalizer, which on the balance of the game he probably really deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well done on the passes too. Like this is, I remember a few matches back when we talked to Shubham, we talked to him about the fact that he was not necessarily playing his game. The match right after that, we saw that free-flowing, the quick passing game from Shubham, and we talked to him like, hey, yeah, this is my game. Even in that goal, again, we get to see his trademark, just quick on the passes, looking for that instinctive play. Honestly, very reminiscent of V. Sharma. I see why they're friends. They probably play a lot of scrims with each other. You can see that style reflected, especially with the formation too. But hold on, Saransh himself, he's not going to take this lightly. He's going to be back with a vengeance, most likely.
Oh yeah, and well, gets away with that one over there, Shubham. I think every opportunity to not have to defend against Saransh for Shubham would be huge. But I wonder here, what do you think is going to be his mentality? Do we sit back and try to just hold on to that draw, or should we get a win and just close this game out immediately?
I think his mentality has to be to control possession, but never to sit back, because I feel like that just plays into what Saransh wants, where yes, he wants you to give him an opportunity, he wants you to give him a chance. So it has to be the best of both worlds, and it sounds hard because it's basically asking for perfection, but I think that's what you need right now to finish this off against Saransh. And by finish it off, I don't even mean a goal. Just 5 more minutes, if he's able to hold on to the possession he's holding on right now, it's more than enough for Odisha.
Yeah, but it's just every time the players from Chennaiyin FC start closing in just like this to close the ball down, my heart is in my mouth because I've been in these positions before when you're just trying to hold on to that lead, you've really scrapped, and suddenly you lose the ball in your own half. Of course, it didn't happen there, but Saransh now again. He's on the ball, and these moments are so critical. Could be a huge moment in both these team seasons, as we see now Ronaldo on the edge of the box with the Marseille roulé, and cleaned up by Van der Sar. And I think now Shubham, with just a minute to play, will he go for an attack or is he just going to sit back? I think he's done for the day.
He's just looking to run down that extra minute. He's like, oh, okay, I see it done. Ball, off you go. And draw, here you come. The loss taken away and top spot guaranteed for FC Goa as Chennaiyin fall. Shubham holds on to his undefeated streak, and Odisha going into this co-op with everything to gain, with actually nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I mean, this is the perfect dream, right? This is what we pondered before the match start, where they're able to kick off the almost games they've had so far with the perfect start, like beating a team like Chennaiyin FC.
Yeah, and you have to say Shubham yet again proving himself to be that almost that draw specialist, the guy who refuses to be beaten no matter what the circumstance. Great stuff from him as well. Saransh and Naveen not completely on their game today. Also, of course, I think as the tournament progresses and evolves, we are going to see teams who are at the top of the table getting a little out-thought, a little out-tacticked by other teams who start to see patterns in their play. But this one was just an incredible save, and unfortunate for Van der Sar, not for Shubham necessarily that went in. And it was a great goal to get the comeback, and 1-1. It's very tasty going into the co-op. Can Odisha steal all 3 points?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because even in this game, I feel like the strength of both teams quite apparent in the sense that, of course, again, Odisha in Shubham willing to drop back, willing to absorb the pressure. But when it comes to that co-op, it's going to be a whole different ball game because you have that extra mind, that extra movement in your defense and inherently in your attack as well. Your ability to coordinate is going to be clutch, and we'll have to see how it comes through. But this game, of course, props again to Shubham, because as you said, it's exactly that, right? He's almost established himself as that clutch player for the side of Odisha FC. He's like, I will get whatever result is necessary at minimum, at the very least, and still undefeated. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah, and of course it's huge for Dugal as well going forward in the tournament to have got that win.
Yeah.
And now I think we'll see the true test in terms of whether he's actually really gained a lot of confidence. You can see the XG over there not quite going in Chennai's favor. There were a couple of those shots which I think were really, for a guy like Saransh, would have been nailed on goal. But Odisha actually keeping a lot of the ball and dominating the game in that sense by denying Saransh the opportunities to score more goals.
Crucial result for Odisha themselves. We'll have to see. Of course, co-op wise, I think form wise, Chennaiyin have been in a better position. But for now, let's hear from the players themselves about their journey in the eISL so far.
Hi, I'm Naveen. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Chennai.
I'm Saransh. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Pune, and I'll be representing
Chennaiyin FC.
I've been playing competitive FIFA for 4 years now.
The passion for the game started since 2010.
Having played multiple tournaments internationally, I'm really happy that we have gotten this opportunity to play in the ISL.
I used to play a lot of FIFA with my brother, so since then this is a big opportunity for me to represent Chennaiyin FC in such a big stage.
I'm really honored to be representing them.
Definitely I'm going to win this tournament for sure. My partner is a strong partner. We together will be a strong force to any other opponent.
I know the Chennai fans are really passionate about football, and I hope they are about FIFA as well.
I want you to cheer us throughout the tournament.
I'm looking forward to it.
My name is Jasprit Singh Dubel and I am 24 years old. I am from Hyderabad.
My name is Shubham Jadhav. I'm 21 years old. I'm born and raised from the city of Mumbai,
And I represent
Odisha FC.
I really like FIFA a lot. I think I'm very good at it. And I think I can win the eISL tournament.
I'm passionate about the football game. It's the best game in the world, and that's what brought me here.
It's been a very proud moment for me for playing for Odisha FC.
I know the team Odisha is based on its fans, and with my gameplay, I'm gonna make them proud. So keep supporting us, guys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is game 3 of the matchup between Odisha FC and Chennaiyin FC, and right now it is Odisha FC in the driver's seat, Azim, because they've won game 1 with Dugal, they've drawn game 2 with Shubham, which means coming into the co-op, as long as they get a win or draw, they get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, luxurious position to be in a cannot lose position going into the game, but still laughs and smiles for Chennaiyin FC. They know that they can still steal that 1 point, and I think on matches 1 they would probably just about go ahead of FC Goa, and that's another reason why winning as many matches as possible, even if you've lost the opening 2 games, to come back and win the 3rd game can be crucial for a lot of teams in the eISL. But for now, it's a situation that Chennaiyin FC are not familiar with, having to play to sort of just stay in it and get a point. How do you think they'll be dealing with that?
It's a very good question because, as you said, I think it's something that they really haven't had to deal with. I'm sure Saransh has experience of doing that, but I think for Naveen, it's going to be, I'm going to at least have my eye on, because for him, it's this moment to show that, you know what, a stumble isn't going to stop me, a hurdle isn't going to prevent me from getting to my destination, and that's the question here. It's all right, really, for Chennaiyin, given the position they're in, to sacrifice 2 points here, but getting that draw will let them go towards their home at the end of the day after this match, being like, hey, we're still undefeated on that table, today was just a blip, we can come back. But if you do lose, then maybe the doubts start coming.
Oh, absolutely. And well, with just that 1 game to go, you can see it's Dugal versus Shubham. I mean, Dugal and Shubham going up against Naveen and Saransh for a co-op game, which of course a bit of a mental shift when you go from 1v1 to co-op, because it almost like it takes, at least my brain, it takes like 5 or 7 in-game minutes to sort of adapt to what's going on. Like when you pass the ball, suddenly it's not in your control and you have to start thinking about the next pass immediately. So very, very interesting form of the game. Also can lead to a lot of arguments and fights. We haven't seen a lot of that though in this tournament so far. Generally players, even if they've been annoyed with their teammate, been fairly civil about it, at least on camera they have. But I'm sure that there will have been a couple of heated arguments here and there, but I have no time to think about that. We have kicked off Chennaiyin FC, looking to see if they can salvage that point that would take them back level on points with FC Goa.
I think this will be one off. I believe it's a 2-point lead for FC Goa, but yeah, it's still the undefeated streak. Yeah. So hold on though, Ronaldo now on the wing, toying with that left back there for Theo Hernandez, unfazed, and so is Odisha FC. And you can see, I think this is one key detail about the co-op. We've seen it like from all of the teams almost, just using those 2 center defensive midfielders to try and cut every passing lane, but still Ronaldo with space.
Plenty of space. He gets into the box, just cut out by Maldini. You can see Eusebio there just waiting to pounce on any scraps, and none afforded to Chennaiyin FC over there by Odisha. And after surviving that initial onslaught, you could say, of the first 7 minutes of the game, it's now time for Odisha FC to, I mean, they could just go this entire game by just passing the ball between themselves and just pick up their 3 points and go, but they will want to do it in style. And you can see over there, you've got Eusebio in, and he's got Ronaldo 9 as well. He has Pele running on the outside. Will they go for a cross? He's got Mbappe on the back post, but electing not to go for it. And Chennaiyin FC now can run up the other way and try to get a goal. There is a long ball on, but elects not to take it.
Just like that, the tempo is reset for a moment. Of course, Chennaiyin FC trying to get that ball forward, but as we were talking about in co-op, everything changes. The way you think has to change, and so far, Chennaiyin do feel like they've settled into a groove because co-op results-wise, Chennaiyin have been the slightly better team than Odisha FC. But today has been all about setting new standards, breaking the past, and Odisha they've done that with the first two games. Let's see if they can do it with the co-op because Chennai they're continuously being threatened.
Oh yeah, they have. They're going to be threatening because you know that Naveen and Saranch are probably amongst the two best attacking players in this tournament, and they've worked well together generally in co-op. But Dugal and Shubham equally are a pretty solid defensive unit. Both of them, they don't score a lot of goals, but they don't concede a lot either. That's why a lot of draws in most of their games. But for now, they'll be hoping to avoid an overall draw and get those 3 points. And as things stand at 0-0, that's what they would be getting.
Right now, status quo is the name of the game for Odisha FC, but with the ball, maybe they can find an extra safety cushion, an extra safety net as well. Pele on the wing crosses, very much a co-op thing that we have witnessed from several teams, but right now Odisha just looking to maintain that ball control, almost do exactly what happened in the last game, deny opportunities by just keeping the ball, but unfortunately they gave it up, and now on the attack is Chennaiyin. Ronaldo with a lot of options there, but no forward runs really from, I'm not sure which other player that was.
Yeah, no, sometimes that can be a problem where you just have too many options to choose from. Should I go running solo? Should I do a trick? Should I look for a pass? Should I tell my teammate to cue a run? And then by the time your mind has processed it, it's all gone. But for the moment, I think that might be a goal kick. No, it is a corner. And we'll see Chennaiyin FC work it short as they normally do. No fancy crossing nonsense from them. They just want to get the ball at the feet and bulldoze through the way they're doing with Ronaldo right now. Ball is still in the box and falls to Odisha FC. Beautiful turn and Pele can lead the counter attack.
Look at this, they got that run already from his teammate, but choosing to use it as a dummy instead, coming back towards the center of the pitch and trying to involve the midfield again. This time actually from the side of Odisha FC, a lot more presence in the attack, but again, you can see on the map itself, it's mainly those three forwards having to do the brunt of the work. That means that there's going to be a lot of 1v1s involved, and usually Chennai is good at that, so we'll have to see how they're able to break it down. But for now, on the counter, the ball given away, it's back. Oh no, just you give, I give, you give, I give. All right.
Yeah, and those are the kind of giveaways you don't want to do. And Odisha have actually been playing in a manner that they would be able to avoid those kind of giveaways. You can see they've been generally very safe in possession, not really trying to force the issue purely because they don't need to force the issue. So they can just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for that perfect pass, that perfect opportunity to arrive. And it has arrived right here. It's saved somehow by Van der Sar using I believe it was a third leg that appeared from the back of him, because how has he saved that? And it's a free header for Gullit in there and decides to pass the header instead of going for the shot. That's very, very surprising. And almost a counter attack for Chennaiyin, but Odisha mopping that up very, very well.
Absolutely. And the situation right now, quite tense, I think, for both teams, where Odisha realizing how close they got to getting that safety net, but denied by Van der Sar, and of course, maybe a bit of a mistake in the spontaneous decision with that header, but right now they've got the ball back. They should take solace from the fact that they even created the chance and try to do it again, and looking to do exactly that. But as you said, not forcing the issue because they don't need to, and Chennaiyin try doing the exact opposite. High pressure from Chennaiyin FC, trying to get the ball back as much as they can, and it's going to cost them later into the game.
Yeah, I mean, they might be using up. It doesn't look from the stamina stats that they're using any particularly high amounts for the moment. They looks reasonably under control. But I think you have to say a very smart game being played by Odisha FC currently. They're not. They're going for those percentage balls. They're not really trying to force the issue. So let's see if they, considering it's going to be the last attack of the game, I don't think there'll be any stoppage time added because there's honestly not been much happening. And it is, yeah, it is. Well, it's not half time yet. Well, now it is. And for now, the result favoring Odisha FC. Let's see if Chennaiyin decide to step it up early in the second half. This was the moment. How has he saved that? And I think flashbacks to that first chance that Shubham had or Dugal had in his in game one, because that save, I think maybe over there the smarter option would have been to go for the low-driven finish. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe even the finesse trying to curl it around on the near post, but yeah, I don't think you can afford, especially since you know it's Van der Sar, right? Maybe with another keeper, you can afford to just go for a normal finish. But against Van der Sar, you just got to take that extra step. But hey, at least the chance was there.
Ooh,
A little
okay.
scary. Thank God they're not playing anybody besides Vieira there. I think anyone shorter than Matthaus or Zidane. Oh, Zidane would be fine, actually.
Yeah, Zidane or Laurent Blanc, maybe. We haven't seen. I wonder what happened to Laurent Blanc. I mean, Laurent must be feeling pretty bad that he's just been abandoned by. And hang on, that's a cheap giveaway. And actually, again, deciding. I think it's a clear tactic. Well, looked like a clear tactic to just play the safe pass, but they did the exact opposite to give us the caster's curse at that moment. And Maldini picking up the ball to Marquinhos and. Yeah, they're not leaving them a lot of spaces. I mean, they're happy to let Chennaiyin FC pass the ball around out of defense, but over here is where they're sitting very nice and deep and compact, not allowing them a lot of opportunity. A great tackle there by Maldini on Mbappe, but very few opportunities, very few passing lanes, although one has just opened up over there.
Ooh.
Keeps going, and a clutch tackle in the end by Marquinhos.
The 1v1 crucial, like the Ronaldo trying to dummy as if he was going to turn and take the shot on the left, but going through on the right, and the prediction perfect from the Odisha FC players, just waiting, dropping back. It has been something they are really, really good at, absorbing pressure. They've shown across their individual games, but as you mentioned too, Naveen and Saransh, two of the best attacking players in the eISL right now, and creating that space. But I hate it on those corners because I feel like after corners like that, your attackers never really quickly get back into the line. They're almost always lazy.
Yeah, and I think also it was compounded by the fact that Odisha FC did go for an offside trap in that moment, so the defenders immediately jumped up. As we see now, Eusebio coming down the line. Again, very little room to operate in. You can see there's just pretty much two banks of four set up at the back, and it's going to take something special, a bit of skill, a bit of magic, maybe a little one of Saranch's trademark roulettes. Not happening on that occasion, and Odisha FC with 60 minutes played, not looking overly perturbed by anything that Chennaiyin FC have thrown at them, but those are the kind of mistakes they can't avoid as Gullit smashes it as far away from danger as possible, and as a nice consequence also finds his teammate.
Yeah, that was convenient, but hey, hold on, it might just result into a very good looking attack, but it's quite the similar scene on both sides where the defenses are very well set. A deflection getting lucky there for Odisha FC will create a bit of space. Ronaldo able to get into the box, but hey, controlling the ball on the byline, that's more than enough for the side of Odisha. But great
What
shot,
was that?
almost.
Yeah, it looked like Van der Sar just decided to make the save, and in the middle of making the save decided that he didn't want to save it anymore. It was very strange. But no harm done, thankfully, for Chennaiyin FC, as they've given the ball back to Odisha again in midfield, and this is going to suit them down to the bone. We see Gullit on Gullit action over there. They'll be very happy to win a corner, although they might get a bit more than that. It's opened up for Pele, and surely it's with Mbappe. It is the goal, and that now you would have to say is 3 points in the bag for Odisha FC, and probably I think the biggest shock result we've seen in this tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think even more than that, deservedly so. I think these 3 points, considering that it sounds easy to say they're very good at absorbing pressure, but doing it against a team of the caliber of Chennai and coming out successful on their end, it's been a tremendous achievement. And the fact becomes that they've continuously improved. But hold on, the game not done just yet, especially against players like Naveen and Saranch. They held on for 70 minutes. They just need to do it for 20 more.
And we did see just at the kickoff that they have switched now to ultra attacking, so there will be a few opportunities for Chennaiyin FC appearing, but also in the same way, if they don't take those opportunities, there'll be a couple of big ones for Odisha as well. And now almost managing to do it, and now on the counter attack, it's pretty much 3v3 if he finds that right ball in behind. Will he bother with that? I think he might just run down to the corner flag a bit early for that, and he has Ronaldo in if he finds him. Yes, he does. Three passes to choose from. Eventually gets the corner. That is a bit of a get out of jail for Chennaiyin FC. You can see the Odisha hearts are going to be absolutely pumping over there. They know that there's still enough time for them to throw these points away, but they just need to make sure now that they see it out. And over there, you can see Odisha FC just showing you the right way to beat Van der Sar. It's the only way to beat him is to make sure that he's not in goal to begin with.
Yeah, just get him out of the goal, get the right pass, and easy tapped in. I mean, that's easier said than done, definitely. But I think at this point, what is key, as you mentioned, they're so close to the finish line. I'm sure they can see that ribbon at the end. They want to take it down, but at this point, they really need to make sure that whatever they do, none of those cheap giveaways happen, none of those free goals. That single goal where you hand it to your opponent can give a huge momentum shift, but it's the actual exact opposite. Chennaiyin hand the ball back to Odisha, and now they've got a ton of space because Chennaiyin on ultra attack.
Ooh, and a ball fired in there from Ronaldo CR7 to Ronaldo 9. And quite surprising that it was so easily dealt with by the keeper, because a fair amount of power in the shot. But as the clock keeps ticking down, the task gets harder and harder for Chennaiyin FC. Although if they get a goal over here, it's going to be a grandstand finish, trying to thread that ball through, but defenders well positioned. And now will they look for that ball down the byline? No, they go central, but given away. Could this be the moment for Chennaiyin FC to just make Odisha sweat that little bit extra? And the trademark roulette not quite working out. Van der Sar kicks that ball out.
Yeah, and you can see, of course, no, not in a hurry at all to get that ball out in play. But of course, the timer has ticked down, so he has to do exactly that. But this moment now is just going to be for Odisha. Smash that clear button, get it as far away from their goal as possible. And they're trying to do that, holding on for dear life, Odisha, for that first win.
Yeah, and will Chennai manage to get that goal? It's Gullit in their hand. The shot a little bit too far out, you would have to say, and maybe just the wrong player in that position. Gets the corner though. Are they going to launch it into the box, or will they persist with their strategy of going for short corners? It is going to be short. Quick turn by Pele, well marshalled by Theo Hernandez, and okay, he could be in the counter attack, but hounded down by Ginola over there. Chennaiyin FC, this is pretty much their last stand. It has to be a goal from here and a goal from the next play as well if they want to get anything out from this fire. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's going to be Ronaldo running down that flank to the safety of the corner flag. Will there be a cross in, I wonder? I think now they can afford to try to score a second goal.
I think maybe after it hits that 90-minute mark, they might try, but they do get intercepted. But oh no, the ball falling right into the vicinities of Vieira, and a sound slight tackle. I think that was Dugal. We saw it in his game too, towards that stoppage minute. The slight tackle is coming in, but one last opportunity for Chennai. Won't mount to much, just maybe a consolation.
And it is the consolation goal, but Dugal will say, you know what, it's fine. We still get the 3 points. It's done. And a huge result, which will send reverberations up that eISL table. Suddenly we have a team that the others have something to think about.
Yeah, exactly right. I think given the fact especially that every single match that Odisha have lost before this, it's not really been a one-sided affair. It's usually been close, and it's usually been Dugal not able to find his form. Their first victory, guess who got the only victory in the best of 3? It was Dugal finding that victory over an in-form Naveen. There is no better way to kickstart his confidence and his campaign, as well as his team's campaign. Everything going checkmark today for Odisha FC.
Oh yeah, it'll be brilliant. We'll see them move up towards that top 4. Of course, there's still at this moment like 12 points between these two teams, but we see this so often in so many sporting leagues that you just go into this game, it's like second versus second from last, and you're expecting it to be a formality, and it all just completely turns on its head as we see fair amount of chances created by both teams, you'd have to say, and in fact maybe a few more falling to Odisha, because Chennaiyin were well shut out, you would have to say, by Odisha. Their defensive game has been actually very good, and we have seen Shubham as well say that he is pretty good defensive player in this game, and showing that today in both games, not just in the co-op but also in his draw against Saranch.
Absolutely. I think a very commanding performance from Odisha FC today. Dugal getting the win, and as you said, right, Shubham, understanding what he needs to get done for his team. It wasn't really easy, I would say, for Shubham, then especially after the way Saransh was almost able to dominate in that first half, but they made it happen. And the similar story in this co-op game, because Chennai again looking dominating on the attack, looking threatening, creating opportunities, but absorbing blow after blow. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Rocky, like this boxer coming out of nowhere, no one expecting him to win, and his key strategy is, well, I'm going to get hit a lot, but I'm not going to go down. Odisha certainly did not go down today, and they get that win. It's such a big one.
Yeah, and the draw specialists, well, they actually got 2 draws in this game as well. So the draw specialty continues, but from several almosts to finally a 3 points, they've managed to get it. They're going to be very, very pleased with that, and also very pleased for Dugal to actually in this game be the guy who made the difference. It's his win that has got Odisha the 3 points at the end of the day, and I think that's going to be a huge. We already spoke to him. He seemed very, very happy about the fact that he's got that first win, and he's been able to take on that leadership mantle for this game at least, and be the guy who gets the job done for Odisha. Very, very good result, and now it's about looking up towards the table. And even in XG, I think in all the games, well, in the first and the third game, it's looked like they were the more likely team to score. In all other aspects, I think we were completely even. You can look at that, just like 2 passes more made by Chennaiyin FC, 1% in it for possession. But it's the tackles won and the interceptions. That's where this game really has gone in Odisha's favor, because the amount of consistency they've seen in their tackling. You look at that, 2 out of 9 versus 7 out of 13. That's what's made the difference for them, particularly in this co-op game today.
Yeah, exactly. Almost 60% win rate on that tackles. That's astonishing, really, because when you consider their defensive style, it is dependent on those tackles. They draw back, they don't push forward, they don't commit in. They choose to make the tackles at opportune moments, and their choice was absolutely pristine today.
Yeah, and let's summarize what we've seen today for everyone who's watching, in case you've just tuned in. Game 1 saw Dugal TV getting a huge win and a very crucial win against the informed Naveen. Game 2 saw Shubham coming back to drag Odisha back to that, well, a minimum of 1 point, getting the draw against Saransh. And then it was 1-0 for a large part of that game to Odisha FC, and then Chennaiyin managing to get what was pretty much a consolation at the end.
More or less, I think the only thing denied over here to Odisha is some game wins, which would matter maybe if they were higher on the table. So for now, they just be like, we'll get the points first. Maybe on the next match, we'll concentrate on those game wins, because that's what is really important, especially considering where we're going. But let's take a look at who the hero of the match is. I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise given how the match has ended up today. And of course, it's the man who got the win, Dugal TV, the hero of the match.
Yeah, and 3 goals scored in his game, along with finishing off the goal in the co-op game as well. So a very tidy day for him, ending with 4 goals. That's going to be huge for his confidence. He's been one of the guys who previously in the tournament we were looking at and being like, is he going to be able to step up and sort of get himself to the level of Shubham, who was that immovable object, so to speak, undefeated in all his games so far. But some really, really good goals scored by him. This one, the first one, of course, was a very a simple cutback. This ball in behind was absolutely smashing, and you could almost from here hear his heart racing as Pele ran in behind. And this one, we expected it was just meandering towards a draw, but no, not to be. He wanted that win, and that's actually what's made the difference today.
Yeah, that third goal especially, I mean, the second ball, as you said, absolutely smashing. But in that third goal, I saw a sense of tacticality, understanding that by then they shifted to a 3-back in Naveen and stretching them, then moving in, short passes, getting that goal through. But hey, very well done for him, and I'm excited to see how they continue this form.
Yeah, and I'm also excited to see what this has done to the leaderboard. We're quickly going to have a look at that. Let's see if Odisha FC have managed to move up. Well, they do move up 1 place ahead of Hyderabad FC, but they'll be looking at the teams above, Mumbai City FC, Kerala Blasters as well. They have a game in hand on them. You win that, suddenly you're just 2 points off of them, and well, actually just like 4 or 5 points off that top four
Yeah.
if you look at the games in hand that everyone has. So I think they'll look at this game and be like, okay, our season starts now, and this is where we start building.
Absolutely. I think for them, as you said, right, there's not much of a gap in terms of points between, say, even the third place team and them. A single match between those two that they win would just drastically reduce it. So it's all about getting that done. But hey, let's head over to a chat with Shubham. I'm sure he's going to be extremely relieved with the win today. So Shubham, immediately, congratulations getting that first win on the board. How do the 3 points feel?
Thank you so much. First of all, I guess I'm really, really relieved that finally Dougal is finding his rhythm. As I told in the last game, he was going to find his rhythm, and he's back. And he's made a comeback against Naveen, who hasn't lost a game yet. And yeah, I'm really happy. And 3 points feels good. But I'm really gutted about the fact that we gave away games won by conceding a last minute goal. And that was actually my mistake. So I'll take that into the consideration next time.
Well, it's okay. I mean, we've been calling you almost FC for a few games now, almost getting the win, almost getting the draw a lot of times. But speaking of Naveen's unbeaten record, you are also running a pretty good unbeaten record yourself. How does that feel, and does it get tougher with each game to remain undefeated?
Of course, it's gonna get tougher because see, today itself I played Saransh, who is the current FGA champion, FGA South Asia champion. So yeah, the games are gonna get tough. Next, I guess I have Lokmani up. So yeah, of course, it's not about the unbeaten record. It's about that. It's a team game. So basically, today I got the confidence from Dougal that yeah, he's won. So I can play. I can play my way. So yeah, that was fun. And also, Saransh had the momentum in the first half, and I switched it back to another formation and took the momentum from him. So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we did
actually,
see you. Sorry to cut you off, CA, but just I was curious about this. So the 4-4-2 diamond that you played, that's what you changed to in the second half?
Basically, I started with 4-1-2-1-2
Right.
because I know that Saran struggles against him. And then I had to switch to 4-4-2 flat, and then again I switched to 4-4-2 second variations. So it was a tactically game, to be honest.
wow, that's quite interesting because I think especially the 4-4-2 second variation gives you a little more width. So is that what you were trying to go for? And even that 4-1-2-1-2, I'm curious, what do you mean that's where you were trying to punish Sarans? Like, what was the game plan coming into that?
Uh, as Saransh presses high and he likes to press. I feel like he's personally the best presser here in India. So I had to play quick passes here and there. And I know he reads everything, so I had to be quick there. But to be honest, it didn't work out. But I tried. I have to try that. I have to try new things. I have to gamble. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really good to see players not just experimenting on the pitch, but also on tactics, and to see you using 3 different tactics in the game is very, very well done. And congrats on the 3 points, and now hopefully you can look to move further up the table.
Hopefully. The job's not done yet. So yeah, there are 40 more games. And we'll look one game at a time. So let's see. Thank you.
Well, thank you and congrats for the win. Of course, we'll see you in the future games, but enjoy today.
Thank you.
I love that personally. Like just the fact that he said, "I want to gamble, I want to take the risk," even when they're at a low point, they are still remaining positive and proactive.
Yeah, and it is that's what this entire game is about. It's about evolving. It's about adapting constantly and going up against pretty much one of the best players, one of the highest rated players in this tournament. In Saranch, he's gone and got the job done. Dougal's got the job done. So I think a night of celebration is warranted for Odisha FC today.
Of course, and talking about the tournament, we have to thank the entities that helped us make it happen. Of course, the eISL, powered by Coca-Cola, with Nodwin as our esports partner, Hero as our associate sponsor, and PlayStation as our platform partner. What an exciting matchup it was today. Odisha FC getting their first 3 points on the board, and it's going to be a matter of seeing if they can continue their form. But for now, it is the end of the match, and we'll be seeing you with that next match in the next.